Hi, it's Paula O'Sullivan here with my very good friend Judith Shuttleworth here for another marketing conversation. How are you going, Judith?
Hey Paula, how are you? Hi everybody, lovely to see you.
And today we're going to have a very interesting conversation, and it's something that even the most experienced marketers can sometimes get wrong over and over and over again. So what are we going to talk about today? Connecting versus pitching. Connecting with people versus pitching them your stuff when they don't even know who you are. So, Judith, we're both having a laugh here because I've certainly experienced it, and I know Judith has experienced it as well. And I would say that I would categorize both of us as relationship marketers. So we are very much like, we're marketers. We set up automation, we do videos, we do content, but I think that we're very much both in the category of people who like to connect and build relationships rather than chuck a bunch of broadcast info at someone. Would I be correct in that?
I think absolutely correct, and I'm sure most of the people listening today will agree with that as well. And I'm sure everybody has been pitched to at some point and actually been quite offended by that pitching. That especially LinkedIn, I think, is especially bad for it. You know, somebody connects with you, you accept it, and the next minute you've got this great long kind of pitch, this salesy kind of spammy message about whatever it is they do. It is quite offensive. Most of them I don't even answer. So I don't even go back. I look at it and think, really? Like, how can people get that so wrong just because somebody's accepted a connection? But it's like being at a party, isn't it? And saying hi and the person saying, can I sell you a watch? It just, or something. Do you know what I mean? I mean, that's exaggeration, but it's a bit the same. You'd be quite offended, wouldn't you? And feel like it doesn't work at all. People, you have to treat people like a person. And if you're not respectful of that, then you're not going to get anywhere just by trying to, spam people and pitch at them. I don't think anybody would be open to that. Nobody at all.
And I guess kind of what we're talking about, let's be really clear about this. We're not saying don't go onto LinkedIn and find new people to be connected to. We're not saying don't go to a networking
Prospecting is a totally different thing.
Totally different. Yeah. It is okay to go out there and be open about wanting to connect with new people. Totally. We all do that, and that's okay. And in fact, that's how you're going to grow your business, especially if you're in network marketing. It's how you grow your business. But it's the first step. So it's the first communication that you have. And then I would say the second communication that you have that is super important around this. And if you get that wrong, that's where that's where you're going to lose the whole prospect altogether.
It's about learning the art of small talk, even if it's through automation. People only want to work with somebody that they trust and like, and that takes a little while to build up. And you can't do that in one email or one spammy message. And it's not treating people with respect. It's not treating them as a real person. It's just treating them as a number that probably, and maybe you would have got somewhere with that person had you treated them with respect and like a real person, and got to know them first of all to see if there was anything mutual in the relationship. So you have to pull back a little bit, and you have to try and get to know that person as best you can, whether it's through messaging or through email or through your posts on social media or whatever. And, there is a way to do that is respectful, that still can be getting your message or your marketing or whatever you're selling across without totally offending the person.
Yeah, and I think what's also really important to say is that we are all consumers. We
Yes,
all buy things. We all have needs and wants and desires. And what you have to offer, someone's going to want that. Someone is definitely going to want that. It's how you approach the connection that's really important. So if you
that's right.
have something to sell that is amazing, if you get the connection piece wrong, then people just won't even listen to you. But if you get the connection piece right and talk, and Judith and I have talked ad nauseum about value, like go and watch our previous videos about value. We talk about it all the time. If you provide
That's
the
right.
value, if you ask some key questions, if you understand the pain points and you get to know people as people, then you can actually introduce, hey, so I've got a solution to what it is that you're potentially looking for.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. So you start that conversation and then you take it from there. Maybe there's nothing in it, but maybe that person will remember you later when they're ready to buy and come back to you. And so when you build that nice connection,
Mm.
that they do remember you, and they will, if they're looking for whatever it is that you're marketing or selling, think of you later on.
Yeah.
So yeah, pitching is definitely something that we all do, and we're all looking for business. Anybody with a business, no matter what your business is, you're looking for new customers or clients or whatever, whether you're selling a product or a service, but it's the way you go about it. And
Yeah.
connecting is definitely, the best way to go about it. So making that human to human connection, and that will result in more sales ultimately, rather than just trying to spam people.
Yeah, exactly. And really, for people that find sales a bit icky and find that I'm not very good at sales, um, that's okay, because if you love producing content, if you love giving value, if you love building relationships and getting out there and talking to people, that's what you need to be doing, and go and continue to
That's
do
right.
that. Because
And then adding your link to the bottom of that
yeah,
content. So within your blog posts or under your posts on Facebook or even on LinkedIn or wherever you are, putting a link leading people back to whatever it is, your service or your product that you're talking about. And that is perfectly okay. But as long as Paula said that you're, try to connect with them by adding value, then that's the way to go about it.
yeah. And what do you find? So bringing this in, embedding this into the practical. So, we've talked about how like connection's really important, but at a practical level, what are some of the actions that you think people can take when they're doing the connection piece?
So what kind of actions do you mean? What do you
So,
mean?
so things like, so for example, if they're putting an email series together, what are some of the practical tips for what to include in that email series? Or maybe, so for say, I mean, we've both referenced LinkedIn because that's something that we're both active on, and we've both been pitched on by people we don't know. But really, like say for LinkedIn, my kind of tips around that would be ask lots of questions.
Ask questions exactly what they're into, what they're looking for. Email sequences, I think it's also knowing, again, that we've talked about before, your target market and knowing what their pain points are. So if you're solving their problems, and whatever your service or your product is the answer to their pain point or their problem, then that's what you'd focus on first of all, to try and make that connection, because that's why they've clicked on your link to end up going through your sequence,
Yeah.
because they're looking for the answer to something. So it is all about them. It's not about you. And I think you have to really focus on what value you can offer to them. I think as long as there's something a little bit personal as well, people want to know that you're a real person, even though it's automation. So in my automations, I usually try and put some links back to my Facebook page so they can click on there if they want to see who I am, to know that I'm a real person. I try and include a photo. So again, they can see that they're being emailed by a real person. And you can kind of forget about that sometimes when everything's online and a bit remote and they're not in front of you. So I think to try and bring that personal touch back into it is really nice, because then they're getting to know you a bit better, getting hopefully to like you and to trust you, and that's when they're ready to do business. So I think always in the automation, try and, although you don't want to put it full of small talk, and again, it's not about you, it's about them, you do want to try and connect as best you can.
Yeah, because people like to feel like they're being heard.
That's right. That's
People
right. And that's their pain point, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. It was interesting because just before this call, I was sharing with Judith that through Facebook, someone had someone that I am not connected to, I don't know who they are, pitched me an opportunity. And so the first thing that I do if someone's going to pitch me an opportunity is I want to know that that person's real, because sometimes because the pictures can become salvageable, and I'll talk about that in a sec. But I clicked on their Facebook profile and I went to the profile and I shared a screenshot of what this profile looks like with Judith, and it's not a real, like, it does not look like a real person. There's no cover photo. The profile picture is just a logo. There are no posts. There are hardly any friends. Like, it just looks like a dodgy account to me. And so I look at that and I go, even if you are a real person, I look at this and it's not trustworthy. There is nothing here that gives me confidence, that you are a trustworthy person to be dealing with, and secondly, that I should even connect with you and respond to your message.
That's absolutely right. And I think anybody who's doing social media, that's the first thing you should be doing, is putting a profile photo on LinkedIn as well. I don't connect with anybody if there's no image. How do you know who you're connecting with? It's it's all online and it's remote anyway. So try and make it as personal as you can, so they actually get to know you and see what it's about. The other thing I always do on my emails is put my website. And I'm sure most people, if they're in business, have a website or a blog that they can put the link there so that people can go and check them out and check out their business, see if there are any testimonials. All that kind of stuff makes you and your business a lot more trustworthy, and then you've got a much better chance of making that connection and potentially making a sale.
Yeah. And so if someone pitches you, so just say someone, and this is a very common practice on LinkedIn. Someone will request to connect with you and then boom, they're straight into the pitch.
Yeah. And it's not nice.
Well, it just makes things a little bit awkward, because it's like, well,
most of the time I actually don't read it. If I have a look and there's some great long sales message about a course or a conference or some Zoom event, or I look at it and think, I mean, I don't know anything about you, let alone to think why I would suddenly click on this and think this was a good idea. I think a better way to go about it is at least to have said hi to the person and thanks for the connection, and how are you going, and tell me a bit about your business, or hopefully there's going to be something mutual we can find to work together. This is what I do. If there was a message like that, then it's totally different. But
I think so.
Problem with the sales message is just a little bit, it's off-putting.
It is, and please refrain from using bots and AI technology in that sense. So if you're going to be trying to get into people's inboxes, yes, you can use Facebook chatbots and they are a wonderful tool, but only use the tool if you're using it to connect and build relationships. Don't use it if you're going to broadcast and just sell all the time, because people just don't respond to that.
No,
but
not at all.
In terms of it's interesting because I'll kind of look at when someone pitches me straight away, there's a few different responses I might have. So one, if I'm feeling in the mood, I might pitch them back.
That's a good tactic.
I might go, hey, so thanks for telling me about your thing. I'm not interested in that. But how about I share something with you that I'm looking to pitch back? And often people kind of, and sometimes people just kind of run away and go, oh.
Yeah, exactly. They don't like it, do they?
They don't. I've had the most hilarious responses back. And a few people have actually come back going, but why would you pitch me straight away? I'm like, because you just pitched me, so I'm just going to pitch you right back. Like, so if you are feeling in a bit of a cheeky mood, like, you might want to think about that. I don't know. Sometimes I may respond with something like, but particularly if the person looks really interesting and we have mutual connections, and I think that there could be something in that connection for us in the future, I might actually just write them a little message and say, hey, so look, from your profile, I think you look really interesting, but I don't like being pitched to. So can we actually just get to know each other first? And so I might kind of do something like that, and then bring a bit of humour into it, and you kind of make people laugh a bit.
That is a good idea. Usually I just ignore them, but and I wouldn't dream of just kind of pitching to somebody, you know, like that at all. Because I don't like it at all. So, and I'm sure most people don't. But I think, you know, the key for our listeners today is, just try and connect on a human level. If you think of you know, whoever you're trying to prospect or whatever, if you don't know them, try and build a bit of a rapport and relationship, whether it's through your email sequence, whether it's through, you know, your social media posts, whatever it is, you know, build that connection, and then, you know, there's likely to be sales and something happening at the end of it.
For sure. So I think that is a really lovely point to end on. Now, Judith, I'm going to throw to you, because we have talked about this 2-hour class before, but I think it's really important to remind people now that we've given you lots of value, let's pick we have a gift that we'd like to give you if you want to receive that gift. So Judith, tell us about the 2-hour class.
2 hours. It's free. We've talked about it before. It's an amazing course that will teach you everything you need to know to get you going successfully in online marketing. It will lead you into a course, which is Profit Platform or Ambassador program. But even if you decide you don't want an online marketing course at this stage, this free 2-hour class is amazing and will give you lots of tips. It's the same strategy, the success strategy, that's hard to say, that all the top marketers and influencers in online marketing use. And, you know, if you're missing any steps, this will give you some ideas for your marketing about, you know, what you should be doing. So links are below or above, depending where you see this video. Paula will have hers and I'll have mine. But do yourself a favour and have a listen. You'll get lots of tips. And then if you're ready to do the course, you can follow the links, and we both thoroughly recommend it. We've both done it, and it's perfect for teaching you how to get your online marketing going, and then do your advertising and scale your business.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thank you again, Judith. Great to have a chat.
My pleasure. Lovely to speak with you again, and I hope everybody has a great day. And if anybody's got any questions, definitely come back to us with those questions. We're happy to answer them, or discuss any other topics that you're interested in around your marketing.
Yeah, for sure. Have a great day, everyone.
Have a gorgeous day. Bye, everyone.